From the modern splendour of its business district to the historic colonial buildings on the other side of the harbour, Singapore has developed into an impressive place. 50 years ago, it had a per capita income in the hundreds of dollars. Now that has shot up to about $60,000, despite a lack of natural resources or an economic hinterland. Instead, the economic miracle that is Singapore is a function of hard work and the iron leadership of Lee Kuan Yew, who built a nation-state from scratch. But as Singapore approaches the 50th anniversary of its independence, it faces an array of challenging issues. On the one hand, you have big business, the banks and global multinationals that are based in Singapore because of its reputation for clean government and the rule of law. On the other, you have local residents who've started to express discontent about the way that the city-state is run. Piyush Gupta is the chief executive of DBS, Singapore's largest bank. He believes that the city's future would be best served by focusing on its links to the financial industry and the global economy.
I think Singapore in many ways is still going through a crisis of identity. Does it really seek to embrace being a global city or not? For London and New York, the answers have been unequivocal. Over the last several decades, it's been quite clear that they are and will be and want to be global cities. In Singapore's case, the jury is out.
Being home to bankers, lawyers and wealth managers may raise average per capita income, but that doesn't really help people at the bottom. Locals, or more recent immigrants, including those from China who drive buses rather than manage hundreds of millions of dollars. For them, the influx of money just makes life more expensive.
As the years go on, we find that life in Singapore is more stressed. My children, for example, they have to work very long hours, right? And not only my children, other professionals and also non-professionals also have to work long hours.
Kishore Mahbubani, who's known for his views on how Asia will dominate the world in the coming century, is unequivocal about what he sees as Singapore's future.
To service the Asian century, the logical capital is Singapore, because it's the only city in Asia that sits comfortably with the three major civilizational streams in Asia: the Chinese, the Indian and the Muslim civilizational stream. And in addition, we are also very comfortable with the West.
The government says it's putting in place the building blocks to enable Singapore to service the world.
The world will continue to grow and Asia will continue to grow strongly. And I think we are very well positioned to take advantage of these trends. And as we move towards a more knowledge-intensive, innovation-driven economy, I think we have been investing in R&D, in education of our people, and we actually are well positioned to serve the world.
Greenpac is a medium-sized packaging company that started up servicing the firms making hard disks in Singapore. But as the economy has changed, so has the company, which now specializes in shipping higher value goods like medical equipment and temperature-controlled vaccines.
Doing business in Singapore has become tough because of the cost of doing business has actually gone up high. But for us, in order to stay competitive, you have to keep upgrade and keep innovate and differentiate yourself from the rest of the industry and how you're going to do better. That means you have to make yourself more and more efficient. We are a knowledge-based company, so we highly depend on human capital. But the thing is that on another hand, the government has been also very proactive. They've been very pro-enterprise and trying to help companies to upgrade, to improve their productivity by different means.
But outside of the boardroom or the warehouse, it's unclear whether the government can do enough to keep all of its people happy.
I think the government is taking some measures, but how will it improve the lower income families? I think that remains to be seen. It will be challenging. I think more diverse opinions in our country as well.
Singapore, as the country's Prime Minister has been saying in recent months, is at an inflection point. While its future as a financial centre may be reasonably secure, the same cannot be said for the people living in places like Punggol on the eastern coast. Life here has been getting tougher, and the question is whether the government can move fast enough to produce the new economic model that can generate sustainable economic growth for the next 10, 20 or even 50 years. Tom Griggs, Financial Times, Singapore.